Chapter 51. 3 Punches. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The couple was very mushy and intimate. The man was nearly in his 40s, muscular and around 185 centimeters tall, with slightly fierce-looking features. Meanwhile, the woman seemed to be about only 18 with long hair that had been bleached blonde and thick makeup. She was dressed scantily, her impressions only worsened by the large and small shopping bags that filled her hands. They had indeed purchased an entire warehouse of stuff. Had the woman not addressed the man as her husband, Chin Feng would have mistaken them for father and daughter. Whatever you want, just say the word, bitch. Serve me well, and I will buy you everything you ever dreamed of. This is nothing to me. The man was both presumptuous and vulgar as he haughtily gloated to the female. You're the best, hubby. The woman embraced the man, brushing a full pair of breasts against his arm. Even though she said this with a smile, there was a look of disgust concealed within her eyes. While the pair shopped, Chin Feng looked up information about the man in his communicator. The facts and figures found here about any criminal were laid out in a very detailed fashion. After confirmation that he had the right guy by comparing the man in the store to the one in the criminal profile, he looked up the man's offenses. Li Hai was not from Qingyang but was actually from faraway Haining. Assaulted 1 and killed 13 young women, murdered 91 innocent civilians, resisted arrest by patrol team, caused the deaths of 31 patrol team ability users, devised a bomb that destroyed public buildings, killing 132. Chin Feng looked at the bounty offered at the bottom of Li Hai's profile page. It was not a lot, only about 2 million yuan, but there was also a reward of 500 bounty points. Excellent. All of a sudden, Chin Feng had this bloodthirsty look in his eyes. Li Hao appeared to be unaware that he had been targeted. Even if someone like him found out about the bounty hunter network, he wouldn't be spooked. His chosen as a hideout was one of the safest. Qingbei Colony was an inferior place in Shenyang, where the strongest person was at most at E.tier. Why would anybody go through all that trouble to hunt him? That seemed to be impossible, of course, which was why he was so brazen. Soon, the shop assistant who tended to Chin Feng returned. Sir, I've consulted my superior, and it appears that we can sell this pet wedding dress to you. It goes for 36,000 yuan. We can also make custom-make outfits for your pet. You just need to give us its measurements. Chin Feng was not about to make a move in the shop, so he nodded, hoping to linger around his target a little longer. All right. But we'll take this one first. After he had paid for the wedding dress, Chin Feng helped Xiao Bai into it. That looks very pretty, really. Chin Feng cooed affectionately. Xiao Bai was very flattered, puffing its chest and raising its chin, eager for all to see it in its new dress and sing its praises. Oh my! This little puppy is so cute. Hubby! I want one too. The woman with Li Hai purred when she overheard Chin Feng. Xiao Bai suddenly stiffened, glaring at the woman with its dark eyes. Who are you calling a dog? You want to die. In Xiao Bai's inherited memory, human beings were frail creatures. Except for the person whom it had a confirmed bond, it would never mince its words with anyone else. In fact, when it was all grown up, humans would simply be one of its many foods. What did they taste like anyway? Li Hai was a grey-f ancient warrior, but because Xiao Bai did not reveal its aura, he could not tell that the puppy was actually an ultra-beast. Hey kid, I'm buying your dog. How much do you want for it? Give me a price, the man barked without the slightest sense of courtesy. Chin Feng's warm smile froze on his lips. He stood up and looked at Li Hai. It is not for sale. Not expecting to be rejected, Li Hai frowned, looking very unhappy. Hubby, the woman purred. That only fueled Li Hai's anger. Who the hell was this kid, turning him down and embarrassing him in front of his woman? Hey kid, even if you're not selling today, you still have to sell. Li Hai reached out a palm towards Chin Feng's shoulder. This move alone could shatter a person's bones. Instantly, Qin Feng released Xiao Bai's leash. Forget all that buying he was supposed to do, this was the perfect time to make a move. Qin Feng was prepared, so he swung out a fist to meet Li Hai's hand. Bam! Qin Feng's fist slammed into Li Hai's palm, sending a powerful force up his arm. Crack! With a loud, unnatural sound, Li Hai's wrist was twisted in a weird angle, its bone broken into two places. Arg har! He screamed, stumbling backward while clutching his arm until he hit the display behind him. Clothes fell to the ground, and a vase shattered. The woman standing next to him fell to the ground on her bottom at the sudden move, but Li Hai ignored her. Hey, kid! You have a death wish. Li Hai roared in pain and fury. Qin Feng had unleashed the punch at full force while meanwhile inadvertently exposing his real strength. Li Hai now knew that Qin Feng was merely a Ge-tier ancient warrior who only managed to injure him because he was unprepared. Li Hai could squash this kid with a finger if he wanted to. One could only imagine how pissed he was to have his wrist snapped in two by a boy half his size. That kid had to die. Without holding back, Li Hai raised his fist and jumped at Qin Feng. Aw! The store assistant and Li Hai's woman screamed, running away to take cover as far away as they could. Die, kid! Li Hai grinned. Qin Feng looked bored. He raised his left arm and grabbed Li Hai's swinging arm. You! Li Hai's eyes widened when he realized that he had fallen into a quagmire. Qin Feng's fist struck at Li Hai's dantian. Star absorption. Li Hai's dense inner force, much larger than that of the people Qin Feng had previously killed, rushed relentlessly towards Qin Feng. Li Hai stared in disbelief. When Qin Feng killed Li, he was only at G7 tier. Today, his physical body had reached G8, and combined with the star-absorbing skill, the inner force he used must have become extremely powerful. He simply went easy on Li Hai just now. Bam! That punch immediately crushed Li Hai's dantian. Li Hai's body trembled. He could not launch any more attacks. Qin Feng threw another punch in Li Hai's direction without pausing. Bam! One hard hit to the chest and it shattered his rib cage before snowballing into the heart. Li Hai was dead. His body slammed onto the ground, dead as a doornail. Qin Feng took out his communicator immediately, snapped a few pictures of the now deceased Li Hai, and submitted them. Ah! You're a killer. The woman who was with Li Hai screamed, pointing incriminatingly at Qin Feng. Qin Feng chuckled. The thing I just killed is a criminal on the loose. Did you know that he is wanted all over? What is your relationship with him? Are you his accomplice? Ha! The woman looked at Li Hai's motionless corpse, then back at Qin Feng. No. I don't know. I don't know anything. I thought he was just a rich guy looking to hook up with me. Qin Feng gave her a look of disgust. Get yourself out of here before the authorities do. At least you won't have to live in a cell. Yes. Thank you. The woman gathered all her shopping bags and ran for her life without looking back. Chapter 52. Tripled Inner Force. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the dust settled, only the shop assistant and Qin Feng remained at the scene. Sir. Should I call the patrol team? The assistant quivered, close to tears. I've already called them. Relax. Don't be scared. In the meantime, bring me some clothes, will you? The Bounty Hunter Network, a semi-official organization independent of the patrol team and garrison, had its own system and base in each colony. They arrived much quicker than expected, taking them less than 10 minutes to get to the store from where they were. Of course, their main headquarters was also in the center of Qingbei Colony. By the time they arrived, Qin Feng had already changed into an expensive outfit. The shop assistant listened to him attentively. Upon closer inspection, the screen showed that they were all pet clothing for Xiao Bai. Clothes mocketh the man. In his new outfit, Qin Feng's entire temperament seemed to have changed. He could now claim to be the son of an affluent family, and people would believe him. If it had not been because of his puerile looks, he would surely have looked more like a powerful elite. After all, Qin Feng possessed mighty strength in his previous life, explaining his ability to exert dominance on others. "Hi, I'm Zhang Haoyang, the liaison officer of the bounty hunter in Chengbei." A man offered his hand to Qin Feng. "Hi. Qin Feng." Qin Feng returned the handshake. The man had some grip. Zhang Haoyang did not waste time on formalities. It was a hot day and there was a body in the shop. Zhang Haoyang did a quick sweep of Li Hai's identity and nodded at Qin Feng. Identity confirmed. Then he signaled for his subordinates to carry the body away. They were not doing this job for free. Once they had ordered the arrest of criminals, they would request to decipher their communicator's number, seize whatever money was inside and use it as bounty for other wanted criminals. Unsurprisingly, due to their exploits, the bounty hunter organization was the wealthiest of them all. It was all fair game, as it was. They killed in the name of justice and honor in exchange for money. Of course, they did not ask for Qin Feng's identity, nor did they care for his ability. Those who joined the bounty hunter network only dealt in information and yielded very little strength. The assignment submission is complete. We will verify it immediately. Zhang Haoyang said. After a review of the assignment that Qin Feng had turned in, 2 million yuan was immediately transferred into his account. Congratulations. You are now a Class F bounty hunter. From today onwards, should any wanted criminals set foot in Chengbei, we will alert you. I hope you will cooperate with us, said Zhang Haoyang. No problem. Evidently, Qin Feng shared the same amiable attitude with him. They exchanged contacts, and with this new connection, Qin Feng enabled himself to receive a lot of information. Hunting down wanted criminals in the colony was a very troublesome task. Bounty hunters who were weak were only setting themselves up for a tragic funeral. Some of the more powerful criminals even had the capability to assassinate the leaders of the colonies. For that reason, Zhang Haoyang was delighted to have Qin Feng, of whom he thought was rather mysterious, join their team of bounty hunters. Being able to kill a Class F elect at such a young age was an ability possessed only by those who were geniuses. One could only imagine the potential this youth had in store. Once everything was settled, Qin Feng left with Xiao Bai. Hover cars were faster, and since everyone avoided crashing into luxury vehicles, Qin Feng was, for the most part, able to travel on the road unimpeded. Once he was back in Lake Qin Garden, he marched straight for the training room on the first floor. Sitting down in a lotus position, Qin Feng immediately looked into his dantian. It was nothing less than chaotic inside. There was a huge mist of inner force occupying it, messing up the initial order of inner force threads. The strange mist was actually Li Hai's inner force. He was an F-tier ancient warrior whose inner force had transformed into a ball of smog, subsequently entering Qin Feng's dantian. This situation made him really uncomfortable inside. This was because his dantian hadn't yet expanded enough to accommodate inner force in the form of a mist. Absorb. Qin Feng then employed his absorption skills in an attempt to soak up all that mist. His meridian expanded once again, and the cloud of smog was converted into 8 silk threads that were integrated into his dantian. As of now, there were 27 silk threads in his dantian, 3 times that of a peak G-tier ancient warrior. So, it would seem that fighting ancient warriors increases my internal force faster. I have to keep my conscience clear and avoid killing the innocent. Qin Feng reminded himself. That particular feeling that people got from an exponential asteroid assimilation boost would often cause them to lose control of themselves. They would be consumed by their desire to kill. Thankfully, due to his previous life's experience, Qin Feng was aware that he should not be too foolhardy. The next morning, Qin Feng rolled out of bed early. The awakening period had passed. Those who had not been awakened would have no hope of awakening ever again. To most people, however, it was a new beginning. Qin Feng drove to Zhou Hao's place with Xiao Bai. "Hey, lunatic! You finally came." "I was getting impatient," grumbled Zhou Hao as he climbed into the car. When he saw Xiao Bai, he simply stared at the creature. "What is this? A pet? Why do you have a pet?" Today, Xiao Bai was wearing a cute little hat with a clip underneath, and a formal red dress, all a very eye-catching ensemble. After experiencing what it was like to walk freely in public, Xiao Bai would rather die than to hide inside Qin Feng's backpack once more. Qin Feng had no choice but to bring the little creature along with him. No one at school had the intention to hurt Xiao Bai anyway. This is Xiao Bai. Don't call it a dog. It won't be happy." Qin Feng reprimanded Zhou Hao. All Zhou Hao could do was keep himself from bursting out laughing. Envied, "All right. All right. How are you, Xiao Bai? How about we shake hands, Zhou Hao stretched out a palm. Xiao Bai flexed its claws, wondering if it should draw some blood from Zhou Hao. "Ahem, all right. Buckle up." Qin Feng quickly changed the subject. Zhou Hao had always gotten himself into trouble, unintentionally, of course. Although Xiao Bai had constantly assisted Qin Feng, it was a beast general nonetheless, and its owner knew all too well how strong this tiny creature could turn out to be. Soon, they arrived at the gates of Chengbei Advanced Academy. There was a multitude of people standing at the entrance. Among the crowd, the few that stood out were the upperclassmen, clad in striped dark red uniforms. The pretty girls from the Advanced Academy are really on a whole total different level. Zhou Hao noted excitedly, pointing at someone in the throng of people. An uninterested Qin Feng turned around to look, only to realize that it was someone he knew, the one called Li Yaoyao, the water ability user. Qin Feng vaguely remembered that she was a student of the Advanced Academy. Lo and behold, there was an impatient-looking Lu Meng standing next to her. "Let's go register our names first." There were 3 registration booths, 2 which were crowded with long lines while one was completely vacant. The latter was the booth for ability users. "I'm going there. I'll come to look for you later." Qin Feng pointed at the empty booth, leaving a stunned Zhou Hao behind. "Hey! Lunatic! Your special ability has awakened. Why didn't you tell me?" Qin Feng simply waved in response, ignoring Zhou Hao's discontent. This was a decision he had made after a bout of careful and lengthy deliberation. Chapter 53. Xiao Bai's Show of Force. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before he was reborn, Qin Feng was able to achieve a tier as an ancient warrior. If not for his accidental death, his strength would have continued to soar thanks to his absorption ability. However, when it came to abilities, he was all but a layman. To date, he had destroyed the laboratory in the wilderness, and while it was best never to reveal one's dark abilities, the Hell Stone gave him an idea. He walked up to the special ability desk and was greeted by the student operating the booth. "Are you here to sign up for the special ability class? Are you sure your ability is awakened? Which category is it?" Qin Feng snapped his fingers, and a small flame materialized at his fingertips. "Fire ability." Noticing the fluidity of Qin Feng's movements, the senior was impressed, praising, "Incredible. You've only just awakened, and you've already gotten the flame rune. You're even able to control it. You must be really talented." Qin Feng looked at the senior, speechless. It did not seem like he was lying. Even if he wanted to hide his dark ability, it did not mean that he wanted to attract a lot of attention as a fire ability user. It never crossed his mind that the tiny gesture was to be considered an impressive feat. Qin Feng hurriedly extinguished the flame on his palm, but it was too late. The people around him had already seen it. Ability user. Lucky guy. His ability is awakened. That looks real, cool. The people who were lining up at the ancient warrior and gunner booths all gawked at Qin Feng as if looking at a million pieces of gold. Even Li Yaoyao, who was busy managing the registration booth, paused and looked over. She was both surprised and excited to see him. Qin Feng. Li Yaoyao called out, as she handed the registration form in her hands to a patron. She had come here just to wait for Qin Feng, not knowing that he would be so late in signing up at the special ability booth. She had been busy working at the ancient warrior booth for quite a while now. When she thought of how long she had been kept busy at the ancient warrior booth, her excitement turned into resentment. Qin Feng greeted her back with a simple "hi" before turning back to the form he was given and filling it up. Li Yaoyao smiled sweetly at him. Qin Feng, I'll bring you to the testing area. No need for that, thank you. I'm waiting for a friend. The student working at the special ability booth could not help but be left in awe. Qin Feng had just turned down a beautiful girl. Then let's wait together. Li Yaoyao bit her lip as she stood next to Qin Feng. Already, many of the people present shot hostile looks at Qin Feng. Qin Feng furrowed his brows. He never liked being stuck up, but at the same time, disliked this kind of attention even more. He wondered if he should simply wait for Zhou Hao in the car instead. A resilient Li Yaoyao, however, would not let him go. Qin Feng, is this your pet? It's so cute. Li Yaoyao reached out to touch Xiaobai. Qin Feng instinctively took a step backward, avoiding her. Xiaobai was already baring its fangs and claws. Because Xiaobai was not inside the backpack, it was only natural to draw attention. As it turned out, Yaoyao was the second person to provoke Xiaobai today. Don't touch it. Qin Feng warned in a frosty tone. Xiaobai was not some domesticated pet. It was a beast general. Li Yaoyao withdrew her hands cautiously, feeling wronged, bewildered on why Qin Feng would not even allow her to touch his pet. That very moment, someone got up and slammed the table with a loud thud. What's wrong with touching your pet? Yaoyao was simply giving you face when she wanted to touch your pet. Don't be daft, shouted a guy in the same red uniform who was working next to Li Yaoyao at the ancient warrior registration booth. Just as he thought that they were making some headway, this bastard came and stole Li Yaoyao away. That was unacceptable. Lu Rui. It's all right. Don't say that. Li Yaoyao quickly tried to douse the flames, throwing panicked looks in Qin Feng's direction. That was my fault. Don't be mad, Qin Feng. Qin Feng's frown only deepened. In a show of defiance, Lu Rui trudged over. That's just a dog. Yaoyao, if you want, I'll catch it for you. Without thinking or courtesy, Lu Rui reached out to grab Xiaobai. He was attempting to put on a show. The plan was to shoo Xiaobai away before hitting Qin Feng's arm, incapacitating him first. Ability users who were not learning their abilities systematically were useless. They would be no match for ancient warriors. So, Li Rui had nothing to worry about. He wanted to show Li Yaoyao how manly he was by vanquishing Qin Feng in front of her. Qin Feng's face darkened. Bite him. Qin Feng ordered in his mind. As they both shared a bond, Xiaobai received the message directly. If Qin Feng was not stopping him, then why hold back? It was all about educating them on how awesome Xiaobai was. So long as Xiaobai's space ability was not revealed, everything else did not matter. Xiaobai was a beast general, and high-level aptitude users sensed that. When Xiaobai heard the instruction, it did not attack with its mouth, as it would usually do. This person would not taste good. Scratch. Xiaobai raised its paw and swiped its claws, drawing a white shadow across the air. Hi. Lu Rui screamed, clumsily stumbling backward as he clutched his injured hand. A gash ran deep into his bone. The people all around gasped in shock. After enhancement, a human's constitution would become very strong. Even a big dog, one that had not evolved, albeit a palm-sized one like Xiaobai, would not have been able to break through a human's defenses without first transforming itself. The crowd was in bewilderment as they witnessed a pet seriously injuring the arm of a senior in the advanced academy. You are not a pet. Lu Rui roared in anguish. Qin Feng sniffed. You just knew, huh? Too bad, buddy. It's too late. Xiaobai holds a grudge for a very long time. You better watch out when you walk in the night. The next time, that claw won't be scratching your arm but your eyes. When the crowd heard this, they looked at Lu Rui's arm, feeling the pain as well on behalf of him. That's an ultra-beast. Wow. It's so strong, although it's puny. Wow. This person is seriously lucky. Not only has his ability awakened, he even booked an ultra-beast offspring. It's going to be a huge help to its owner when it's all grown up. Evidently, the incident that had just taken place had the crowd all envious. Lu Rui's face reddened. Demoralized and in great pain, he would have liked very much to kill Qin Feng. Seeing that things had gotten way out of hand, Li Yaoyao quickly tried to placate Lu Rui. Lu Rui, please. Don't be angry. Here, let me heal you. It's just a small wound. Li Yaoyao released some water runes, and little droplets of blue surrounded her, subsequently fusing into Lu Rui's arm. The cut on his hand began to close up, and, 5 minutes later, not a single mark was left. Phew. Li Yaoyao exhaled. Her consciousness was a little overdrawn. Those were water runes. So, this pretty girl is a senior with a very special ability. A goddess, she is. An angel in white, Doviko. Chapter 54. Rune Affinity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the crowd expressed their admiration, Lu Rui looked at Qin Feng's direction with an amused look in his eyes, as if to say, so what if your pet caused me a disadvantage? You may have won some face but you're losing the pretty girl. Suddenly, he felt a little better for himself. However, after scanning the crowd, Lu Rui looked confused. Where was Qin Feng? While all focus was on the healing, no one noticed that Qin Feng had sneaked Zhou Hao to the front of the line, grabbed a sign-up sheet, and left quietly. Qin Feng, your special ability is awakened. And Xiao Bai is an ultra-beast. What class is it? It looks really incredible. That pretty also girl seemed to know you. Zhou Hao had an endless list of questions. You're talking a little too much. Qin Feng winced. Zhou Hao rolled his eyes. Then answer my questions. I don't want to. Damn. You're keeping secrets from your brother. Isn't that normal? We'd be gay if there are no secrets between us. Zhou Hao huffed in frustration, finally lost for words. I don't mean to keep secrets from you, but I'm too lazy to explain myself. At least you know the truth now. Qin Feng patted his friend on the shoulder. Are we still brothers? Zhou Hao groaned. When he thought about the talent fruit and beast. General meet, it dawned on him that Qin Feng had been playing things real close to the chest since then. But Qin Feng was also right. He could not possibly tell Zhou Hao everything. All that mattered was that he still treated him like a brother. Then I'll you one last question. Do you have feelings for that pretty girl? Zhou Hao nosily poked with a smirk. What feelings? Qin Feng cocked his brow and tried to look as cool as possible. Don't be silly. That girl looked like she really likes you. Don't you like her back? Nope. Qin Feng snapped. Why? Zhou Ho looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. She's so pretty, and she's a water ability user. She'll be a doctor for sure. How can you not like her? Qin Feng simply kept mum. If he was young and carefree, he would have been overjoyed by the attention poured on him from a tremendously attractive lass like Li Yaoyao. But Qin Feng wasn't that young mutt who had just moved out of the orphanage, waiting to take on whoever came their way. It was 10 years ago, before his rebirth. Though Qin Feng may not have been at his peak, he did not lack anything either. Money, women. Everything that he should have, he had them. To him, there was nothing particularly special about Li Yaoyao. Also, he wasn't the type to be too interested in these kinds of things. In this life, his most pressing goals were to get revenge and to reach the top. There are no whys. She's just not my cup of tea. Qin Feng politely denied, not wanting to criticize Li Yaoyao. Thank goodness, the bashful topic did not continue for long as they soon arrived at the testing area. On the other side of the room, Li Yaoyao looked really unhappy and obstinate. Once again, Qin Feng had taken off and left her alone. It was clear that this young man did not give a damn about her. In the testing area. Wow. We have someone who has his ability awakened. My name is Ching Chao. I will be your teacher/instructor. Just call me Teacher Cheng. Ching Chao was in his 40s. He looked a little dull but seemed the kind type. Teacher Cheng, here is my form. Qin Feng handed his form over. Ching Chao accepted the paper and placed it on the machine next to him. You've already confirmed that it's a fire ability. Then there's no need for another test. We'll just measure your consciousness and rune affinity. Ching Chao took out a red fire crystal, a rare crystal core with attributes, and placed it in the machine. This machine is a piece of essential equipment that you will need in the future. It can break down the runes in special ability cores. The more gifted a person is, the more powerful he or she would be able to absorb the runes. This all depends on their aptitude as well. Of course, even if results are not outstanding, you're still fortunate. Don't get too stressed. Alright, let's start now. Qin Feng nodded. He was already seated inside the egg-shaped machine with a blindfold over his eyes. Release your consciousness and capture those runes, the more you get, the better. Ching Chao instructed. Accordingly, Qin Feng unleashed his conscious energy and saw countless fire runes bouncing here and there. He knew that these runes were part of the test. Capturing them with the powerful pulling force of his consciousness, he absorbed the runes. However, no matter how hard he tried, he was only fast enough to absorb 1% of the dark runes. On top of that, once the runes reached his consciousness, they disappeared almost immediately. At the end of the day, Qin Feng was still a dark ability user, no matter what he tried. He simply posed as a fire ability user because of the fire runes. Even if he absorbed the fire runes, it would not be stored in his diamond planet. But what about the sub-ability core around my ability core? I wonder if I can carve the runes onto them. Sub-ability cores were those really narrow and small infernal satellites orbiting the ability core. Qin Feng pulled the fire runes in again and attempted to carve them onto the infernal satellites. It works, Be-Nov-Com. He had successfully absorbed 2 runes. But just before he could continue, a beep rang in his ears, and all the fire runes disappeared. Done. The teacher blurted as the machine spat out the report. Ripping off the sheet, he took one look at it, and his eyes widened. Then, he slapped his thigh regretfully. Sigh. Qin Feng looked at the man. Teacher, what is it? Do my results disqualify me from enrolling into the academy? No, you are qualified. It's just a little unfortunate. The teacher passed on the results to Qin Feng. Elements captured. 2 Strength of consciousness. S Rune affinity. Ji Qin Feng did a double take. The power of his consciousness was S. It's too bad. If only your rune affinity could be higher. It's very rare to see S.tier consciousness. Ching Chao looked a tad disappointed. Qin Feng did not react to the comment, though. He knew now that his rune affinity was class G because he did not only absorb dark runes. Sir, how is affinity evaluated? Qin Feng asked. He knew practically nothing about ability users. The more basic the information given to him, the fewer details he knew. A G.tier ability user's initial absorption ability is at a 2. Similarly, it's 4 for F, 6 for E, 8 for D, 10 for C, 12 for B, and 15 for A. S. Class is the strongest. It could even go up to 20. Don't underestimate the small difference between the tiers. If all consciousness's strength is the same, then the efficiency of an elite absorbing rune would have greatly increased. One should know that even a G.tier special ability would need at least 1000 fire runes, needing a G.tier affinity ability user to complete it in 10 days. However, an S.tier affinity ability user would be able to complete it in 2 to 3 days. When it came to high.tier special abilities, one would need at least tens of thousands of runes. Qin Feng remembered when he had just awakened dark runes, he was able to absorb 20 dark runes in an hour during the day and over 100 at night. Did that not mean that his talent had, in fact, exceeded S.tier? Chapter 55. Help wanted. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Of course, you shouldn't be discouraged. As your consciousness continues to strengthen, you can cultivate longer than others. It's not possible to have a high.tier special ability now anyway. Continue to work hard. Ching Chao encouraged on. Thank you, sir. Qin Feng scanned his test results again. His eyes were drawn to the word pass on the bottom of the sheet. All he needed to do right now was pay to the fee, and he would officially become a student of the Qingbei Advanced Academy. Qin Feng did not immediately leave but walked up to the ancient warrior testing area instead. The machine was similar to the one Qin Feng had used in the hotel. It was finally almost Zhou Hao's turn. Only a few people were left in the line before his turn. Start the test. Ha! The person undergoing the test roared, swinging a punch. Bam! Attack. 279, you can give it another try. Thank you, teacher. Thank you. The student nodded, then proceeded to swing another punch. This time, he only managed to get 256. He had completely wasted his opportunity. If the criteria for an ability user to enter an advanced academy was considered lenient, then the requirements for ancient warriors to enter were rigorous. Their attacks had to reach at least 300, their speed and responsiveness having to meet specific stringent standards. Of course, this did not mean that those who scored lower than 300 could not become ancient warriors. It only meant that their future prospects had significantly reduced. It was soon Zhou Hao's turn. Watch me. Zhou Hao focused his view, bounced a little and threw an impressive punch. Back in the intermediate academy, he was among the top in the institute with an astute flair for combat. Bash! The punch was extremely powerful, and the number on the machine danced wildly, seemingly unable to stop. 516, someone in the line suddenly shouted. That's more than 500. Isn't that in the territory of G.tier strength? Wow! That's impressive. I've been cultivating for so long and I barely made 300. He exceeded 500. This quickly drew the attention of the teacher overseeing the test. As he was very impressed, he urged the student further. Go try other tests, he said. Zhou Hao flexed his hand, excited. Hey, you're done. Let's go, come with me to try out the other tests. Zhou Hao pulled Qin Feng with him. Having plenty of time, Qin Feng obliged and went with him. Zhou Hao had shown sterling results for the series of tests. He was pleased, but Qin Feng was even happier. He died because of me in my previous life. This time, I was able to change his fate. Not only did he live, but with his promising talent, there'll be endless opportunities for him. It would be my honor to fight by your side in the coming days. Qin Feng was in a pleasant mood. After settling the 50,000 yuan needed for the school fee, they were given the academy's uniform. The uniform in deep purple was steam-pressed and tidy, even doubling as a combat suit. The mountain boots added a really professional touch to the entire outlook. Wearing an outfit like that in the colony was a symbol of a promising future. Classes start tomorrow. I can finally learn the art of Nigong. Zhou Hao exclaimed excitedly. Qin Feng looked a little surprised. What's the unified Nigong that the advanced schools had adopted? Hunyuan, an F.class Nigong. When we go back later, I'll give you another Nigong that can also cultivate the Hunyuan skill. It won't delay anything. If you have any questions, just ask me. Qin Feng said. Zhou Hao gave Qin Feng a strange look. How is it that you have so many good things now? Did you find some secret treasure I shouldn't know about? Does finding a dead body count? Qin Feng made up the perfect lie. Zhou Hao's eyes suddenly lit up. Wow! You simply came across an elect space equipment in the wilderness with the ultimate skill, powerful rune weapon, and a pile of treasure. Zhou Hao's let his imagination run wild. Qin Feng simply smiled in response. As if on cue, his communicator rang. Qin Feng selected auto-answer and a man appeared on the screen. It was the same person he'd just met yesterday, the man in charge of the bounty hunter network, Zhang Haoyang. Qin Feng, are you free right now? We're trying to catch a fugitive criminal. I saw that you're nearby, so I'm wondering if you come and help us. Once it's done, you'll get a quarter of the reward. Zhang Haoyang sounded really anxious, and Qin Feng could hear the ear-piercing screeches of the emergency handbrake in the background. They were obviously in the middle of a pursuit. Sure. Just send me the suspect's location. Qin Feng answered. All right. Thank you. Zhang Haoyang immediately forwarded the suspect's details and location to Qin Feng. It was in his vicinity. The suspect was only 3 blocks away from Qin Feng. Haozi. Get down the car first. Qin Feng wanted Zhou Hao to have no part in this dangerous chase. The felon that Zhang Haoyang was after was at least F.tier, not a person to be trifled with. Was that the bounty hunter network? You guys are hunting a wanted criminal. Bring me with you. I'll just stay in the car, screamed a very thrilled Zhou Hao with his eyes wide with eagerness. Okay. Sit tight. Qin Feng put the car in hover mode, and it began to float off the ground. The wind runes were promptly activated, and the vehicle soared to a certain altitude. Whoosh! The car zoomed off at an incredible speed. In a blink of an eye, they had flown past the 3 blocks and the suspect's car was soon in sight. It was a dark blue truck swerving recklessly, knocking everything in its way. Traffic had come to a halt with the madman on the loose. Qin Feng spotted Zhang Haoyang's white race car. Perhaps it was because he only drove around the city, it was not a hover car. It would cost a few million to equip his car with runes. Right now, though, Zhang Haoyang was at a disadvantage. Qin Feng's car raced past the buildings at lightning speed. Switch to automatic drive. Lock onto the blue vehicle. Qin Feng opened the sunroof, then stood up on the driver's seat. The wind hit his face with fury as he reached to retrieve the energy gun strapped to his waist. Pew! A bright flash shot out of the energy gun, and the wheels on the blue truck made a loud pop. Then, the blown tires deflated rapidly. Pew! Qin Feng discharged the weapon again. The rear of the truck collapsed, its bare rims noisily scraping the road, sending sparks flying everywhere. Thankfully, it caused the vehicle to slow down, eventually drawing to a halt. A figure jumped down from the driver's seat. "Attention bounty hunter. Criminal. Viper is here." The name resembling a serpent was obviously a code name. Code names were uncommon, but there was also a possibility that the suspect's real name never appeared in the Human Alliance database before. Qin Feng glanced at his communicator and saw that Viper was a member of an anti-human group, and was involved in numerous murder cases. "Go to hell, you son of a bitch." Viper sneered, grabbing a small car parked by the sidewalk. Channeling his inner force, he lifted the automobile and threw it towards Qin Feng. Qin Feng jumped down from his hover car and sprinted towards the projectile that hurtled toward him. Chapter 56. Exterminate Viper. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Repulsion. The asteroid assimilation skill exploded, and its massive force enveloped the car, sending it flying back the direction it came from. Viper clearly did not expect Qin Feng to be able to block the attack, much less return his attack. Powerless against the incoming vehicle, getting hit by the car would result in many, many broken bones. Viper quickly got up to dodge the incoming car. Boom! The car landed on the road and exploded into a giant fireball. Qin Feng's inner force protected him, and his feet landed gingerly on the ground. Viper glared at him, taking a good look. When he saw how young his opponent was, the ferocious expression reappeared on his face. "A fucking greenhorn. I'll kill you first." He was outraged that a young-ass kid with no ability user metal dared to provoke him. The boy had it coming. Viper stormed towards Qin Feng, first raised and ready to strike a heavy blow. Bam! Qin Feng too clenched a fist. The 27 threads in his body all mobilized, entering his meridian, and a rushing force of attack surged through him. His internal force, be it quality or quantity, was no lesser than that of an F-tier ancient warrior. Capiche? Flesh met flesh followed by an explosive collision so loud, it sounded like bones smashing into each other. Viper felt the energy from his fist, unable to believe what he just witnessed. "Let's see how long you can last, asshole." Viper growled. Splat. Thump. Kabum. Like two furious beasts, fists met with fists, and bodies collided with tremendous force, causing the ground to tremble. Although Viper was unable to adapt to the energy that the asteroid assimilation produced, Qin Feng had also discovered that his opponent was so strong, he was unable to absorb his inner force. Fucking hell. Viper was getting angrier by the second, his rage visible by the pulsating veins on his temples. This punk was a major pain in the ass. Then, Zhang Haoyang and his team finally arrived. While Qin Feng kept Viper busy, 3 people walked up to them and surrounded Viper. "Viper, you have nowhere to run," one of them barked. "Hey, kid, leave it to us," another one of Zhang Haoyang's associates continued. He clearly thought little of Qin Feng. Zhang Haoyang's body tensed up as he gave the orders. "Go." With the 3 of them joining the fight, Viper was no doubt a dead man. "Damn it!" Viper shouted in exasperation. His strength was no more than F2 tier, but he was rapidly agile and was a master escape artist, a reason why Zhang Haoyang and the others failed to apprehend him. With 3 people encircling him, however, he was like a cornered wild animal. "You're forcing my hand. Now, you'll die with me." Viper suddenly laughed, and injected a strange green potion into his body. "Ah!" he screamed as his body started boiling. It expanded and distorted in strange angles. Then, green scales sprouted from his skin, and in a flash, Viper transformed into a 5-meter-long ultra-beast taking the form of a giant snake. Experimental mutant. Qin Feng stepped backward cautiously, his heart pounding within his chest. The anti-human organization's unusual experiments had never stopped. In fact, some of the terrifying human weapons had their DNA altered, transforming into strong, overpowered ultra beasts that subsequently boosted their combat power beyond known limits. Viper was originally an F2 tier, but after injecting himself with the potion, he became an F.class beast. General. That was way beyond Qin Feng's abilities. Hi-ish. Viper made a sound that sounded neither human nor beast. Zhang Haoyang and his colleagues looked terrified, realizing it was too late for them to make a run for it. Viper coiled his long body and pounced forward, knocking over the ancient warrior who asked Qin Feng to retreat. Blurg. Throwing up a mouthful of blood, there was a freakish-looking dent in his chest where his ribcage and lungs had collapsed. Humans were undoubtedly feeble against ultra-beasts. Zhang Haoyang kept moving backward, but Viper was relentless. He opened up his enormous cavern of a mouth as if expecting to swallow Zhang Haoyang whole. This blood-curdling scenario would have terrified people. Yet, it was at this time that Qin Feng, who had managed to evade earlier, raised his hand and fortified his mind. Come fire. Flames appeared in Qin Feng's hand, forming a giant ball. On top of that, the fire from the exploding vehicle appeared to be drawn by an element, flying towards Qin Feng, and turning its shape into a dragon as it flapped its heavy wings across the sky. Go! Qin Feng pushed with both hands, and the giant fiery dragon went after Viper, colliding into him like a runaway train. Crash! The magnanimous force sent Viper flying. Fire enveloped his body, and he became a squirming pillar of fire. Ah! Viper screamed in extreme pain. Hellfire! Qin Feng did not stop attacking. He raised his hands again, with a palm-sized black and red ball appearing in his hand. It was the augmented hellfire with an amalgamation of dark energy. Qin Feng hurled the ball of hellfire so that it would land on Viper's giant snakehead. The ball of flames left a trail of charred bits as it scorched everything along its path. Then, there was a giant hole in the Viper's head. He struggled for a while, twitched, then came to an abrupt stop. Viper, dead. Phew. Phew. Zhang Haoyang, who almost lost his life, gasped breathlessly, the initial shock of the event still lingering in his mind and paralyzing him. After some time, he turned to look at Qin Feng, filled with fear and incredulity. That was way too powerful. He's an ability user. Zhang Haoyang tried his best not to believe it but then remembered a power that Qin Feng had used before. Was he an ancient warrior and an ability user at the same time? Zhang Haoyang looked at the tires on the blue truck and found himself very confused. His aim was way too accurate. Who was this Qin Feng guy? Was there nothing he couldn't do? On the other side, Qin Feng had withdrawn the fire runes. Extinguish, he muttered, and the fire that engulfed Viper disappeared, revealing his singed body and punctured head. He did not look human at all. Absorb! Qin Feng called out. An obscure form of energy left Viper's body and entered Qin Feng's. After the injection, Viper's DNA mutated, transforming him into an F.class beast general. So, the energy that came from him was colossal in nature. Qin Feng could feel that familiar boost, permeating his flesh with a hooking form of strength. His physique was getting more robust, and his speed, his sensory abilities had all skyrocketed. G.Tier, 1 month after his awakening, Qin Feng was already only a step away from becoming an F.Tier ability user. Chirp! Xiao Bai suddenly jumped down the car. Its snow-white paws did not touch the ground, untainted by dirt or dust. It raised its claws and sliced Viper's body into 2 halves. The flesh on the outside was black as coal, but the inside was still fresh and red. Right in the middle of it all was an energy core. Xiao Bai had come down just to get it. Qin Feng walked up to Xiao Bai and grabbed the red energy core the size of a fist. This loot is mine. Qin Feng smiled. Chapter 57. Illegal underground fighting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhang Haoyang watched Qin Feng intently. Instead of protesting, he said, "It's all yours, of course." Had it not been for Qin Feng's prompt action, not only would they have failed to catch Viper, but they would all be slaughtered as well. Qin Feng took the energy core but did not touch the body. Zhang Haoyang turned in the assignment, making sure to include Qin Feng's name. Another 100 points were added to Qin Feng's bounty hunter account. Since Viper was a member of the anti-human organization, he was widely known, and the bounty on his head was a substantial 8 million. After it was divvied up to 4 shares, they received 2 million each. Still, it was a handsome amount. "Alright, I'll leave the rest to you." "I'll be leaving," Qin Feng said. "Alright. Thank you. If you need any help next time, don't hesitate to ask." Zhang Haoyang replied with a smile. "No problem." Qin Feng didn't agree but did not refuse the offer either. Zhou Hao had gotten into the company driver's seat while the fight was ongoing, reversing the car about 100 meters. When the fight was over, Zhou Hao drove the car forward. Soon, Qin Feng walked over, carrying Xiao Bai into the car. Zhou Hao was high as a kite. It was an eye-opening experience seeing how strong his good friend had become. "Remember to send me that Nigong when you get home. I'm so excited right now." Qin Feng's strength really gave Zhou Hao a shock, but at the same time, it had also confirmed his adventures in the past month. I'll send it to you when I get home." Qin Feng climbed into the driver's seat. At the same time, Xiao Bai clung to him, begging him to hand over the energy core. Alright. Here you go." Qin Feng relented, although he knew that if he used the energy core for himself, he would improve his strength tremendously. But ever since he had Xiao Bai, he had given all the energy cores he got to it. It was a decision he never regretted. After Xiao Bai had absorbed the energy core, it fell into a deep slumber, signifying the dense energy contained in an F.class Beast. General's crystal core. Once he got home, Qin Feng began to pen down a B.class skill, Obsidian Gale, from memory. He worked really hard in the previous life to obtain it, sacrificing almost everything he owned. It was also thanks to this skill that he was able to reach A. tier. While it could not match up to the asteroid assimilation, it remained a beneficial tool for Qin Feng. Having the asteroid assimilation spell at hand, Qin Feng did not need to train his Obsidian Gale. It was, however, suitable for Zhou Hao, even coming with a skill called Obsidian Gale Kick. Since he had learned the skill for several years, Qin Feng knew it inside out, and he made sure to include the slightest details before sending it to Zhou Hao. Zhou Hao was over the moon as he received it. After that, as usual, Qin Feng did not rest. Although the absorption ability had strengthened Qin Feng's physical body, the asteroid assimilation failed to absorb Viper's internal force. Viper had injected himself with the mutant potion before Qin Feng could do it. "How unfortunate," he grumbled, being a little disappointed, but in all consideration, it turned out to be a pretty good day after all since his body had reached G9. tier. "But I think there's another place where you can fight ancient warriors." Qin Feng narrowed his eyes. He did not know where this place was, but he knew that there was one in every colony, and that was the underground fighting arena. A place for venting the worst lust for violence, it strongly advocated brutality in its matches. It also doubled up as a ferocious fighting ring. Qin Feng did a quick search, and because these places were somewhat popular, he was able to find their locations in no time. It was late at night, a blanket of darkness cloaked the entire Qingbei colony. But where the darkness could not cover, were the clamor in certain places. In the most disorderly, poverty-stricken area of Qingbei, the term mess was an understatement. There were probably corpses lying in dark corners around the place. Qin Feng left his combat uniform at home, choosing to go with more casual clothing. It made him look like royalty, in particular, a devil-may-care overtone that he carried around, giving off a really leisurely yet ferocious vibe. "Boss. Here comes a fat one. Oh. Are you sure? Does he have an escort? No. It appears that he's looking for some fun. The communicator he's holding is at least 100,000 yuan. Damn. It's him then. All of a sudden, a group of fierce-looking thugs surrounded Qin Feng. The apparent leader of the group came forth and barked, "Hey kid, if you have any common sense whatsoever, take out 1 million, or you'll lose your head." Qin Feng stopped walking and calmly took a good look at the group. None of them wore any badges, but now that Qin Feng's consciousness was so strong, he could sense that they were around G2 or G3 tier. On top of that, their inner force was no better than a speckle or two of smog. This is better than nothing. They're just a bunch of thugs anyway. Qin Feng chuckled. Then, before anyone could react, the asteroid assimilation blew the surroundings with a terrific explosion, and a powerful sucking force hit them before they knew it. Evidently, the group was under the influence of a chi field. One by one, they fell down to the ground, unable to control their bodies. It lasted only a few seconds. The suction was gone, and now, they were hit by a repulsion force. Bam! 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 Ouch! Ah! The young men screamed at the top of their lungs as they were flung around like ragdolls, though soon to discover that this was not the worst thing happening to them. One of the thugs ran towards Qin Feng. "I will kill you." But just before he could plunge the knife in his hand into Qin Feng's torso, his target vanished. Right after that, a hand landed on his wrist. Crack! The unmistakable sound of fractures filled the air with a frightening snap. Clang! The knife he held hit the ground as the thug howled in pain. "Do you still want to kill me now?" Qin Feng grinned, pushing the thug to the ground. "No. I wouldn't dare. Big brother. I was wrong. I was wrong." The thug shriveled in fear. He allowed his anger to get to his head just now, but after Qin Feng's formidable attack, he finally sobered up. "Do you always hang out here?" "I'm assuming the answer is yes. So bring me to the underground fighting arena." Even though Qin Feng had been in Chengbei since he was 16, there were some places that he dared not venture, this exceedingly underprivileged neighborhood being one of them. Only after he had finally set foot in this place, did he realize how complicated the roads were. At least he got someone to show him around. "Okay. Follow me, big brother," the thug said, leading the way. His friends fell back, afraid to even come close to Qin Feng. Soon, they stopped in front of an impressive-looking door that was massive in size. The place was well lit, and the entrance was grand, featuring significant words reading "Eagle Clubhouse" in gold. There were even some luxury cars lining the parking area. Not only did the Eagle Clubhouse operate the underground fighting ring, but they also hosted betting tables, bathhouses, and various types of entertainment. It was indubitably the money-laundering den of Beijing. Each and every guard at the door wore a G9 badge across their chest. One of them was an ancient warrior, and the other one, a gun strapped to his back, was obviously a gunner. Chapter 58. Making a bet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hiring Alex of this level to guard the door could only mean that whoever owned this underground fighting arena had to be very powerful. In fact, Qin Feng knew that the owner of this semi-official Eagle Clubhouse was the deputy mayor himself, Lin Zheng. The guards at the door stood very still, but when a few pretty hostesses saw Qin Feng, they approached him and greeted him warmly with a, "Sir, welcome to Eagle Clubhouse." Qin Feng was dressed in high-end clothing, with each piece going for at least 4,000. That didn't even include his communicator, which was itself worth a princely 100,000. Upstart. Fuerdai. That was how the others viewed Qin Feng. Qin Feng nodded, dished out about 1,000 yuan, and slipped it to one of the girls. "Bring me to the underground fighting arena." The woman was so thrilled to see the thick wad of cash, she looked at Qin Feng in excitement, unable to control her grin. "Here, Xiao Lian will show you in." "This way, sir." The employee called Xiao Lian led the way, swaying her hips with sultry motions as she walked in front. She looked really pleased, a little smug even. Since the other hostesses were left out of it, they rolled their eyes at her in dissent and went on their way to look for other wealthy whales, secretly whispering amongst themselves on how lucky that bitch was to find such an affluent young man who looked a hell lot better than the others, mostly elderly and disgustingly withered. Qin Feng followed Xiao Lian into an elevator and noticed that she pressed the button for B1. "What is your name, honorable sir?" "There's no need for honorifics." "It's Qin," he replied, but that was it. Qin Feng was a man of few words. "What does your family do? You look really young." Xiao Lian was eager to speak to Qin Feng, but he seemed uninterested. "Explain the fight to me," Qin Feng said in a cold, unfriendly tone. At the sharp reply, Xiao Lian's heart fell. Her experience in the business gave her a hunch that this was not going to be an easy guy to serve. "Yes, Mr. Qin. We will see the fighting ring in a while. The competitors today are Black Bear, and Rolex, True Slash. And the rest. They are mighty victors, all of them are G.tier ability users." Xiao Lian explained. The elevator came to a stop, and as the doors opened, they were instantly bombarded with a cacophony of a noisy stadium. "Here, Mr. Qin." Xiao Lian guided Qin Feng through the corridor that soon led to a brightly lit space. The place was about the size of a small stadium, went up at least 3 floors, and in the center was a brightly illuminated fighting ring spanning about 20 meters. Qin Feng was bowled over. Bomb shelters like this could be used to protect the city from being attacked by ultra-beasts, and yet obscene amounts of resources had to be wasted for these things. Outside of the ring were flights of stairs ascending at an incline with endless rows of seats. At first glance, Qin Feng estimated that it should accommodate a minimum of 10,000 people. Around them were giant 30-meter wide pillars strategically placed in several parts of the structure, with each of them mounted with a massive screen displaying a live broadcast of the fight. "Mr. Qin, you're pretty lucky today. This is the 5th round, with Ruthless Tiger as the defender. His opponent, though, is ever more powerful, the champion of 8 consecutive competitions. This is a level skipping challenge," said Xiao Lian. "Mr. Qin, you can visit our public website on your communicator to see the betting odds and its payout for the competitors." Qin Feng had no inkling of the rules of Qingbei's underground fighting scene, but he'd been to other underground arenas in his previous life. Even so, he had only been a spectator. At that time, he wasn't strong enough to be in the ring. Qin Feng opened his communicator and scanned the odds for the 2 fighters. The contender in the challenger's score was 1.5, which meant that betting a Ruthless Tiger win would have to place 100 to earn 500, whereas Arm Breaker's odds were 6.7, so the player would have to bet 600 to get 700. From the looks of it, odds were the organizer was not very optimistic about Ruthless Tiger. On top of that, both of them had separate reward models that were handed out directly to the candidates. The more exciting the fight, the more excited the crowd got, and the more the reward money would eventually be. The 2 fighters took to the stage. Qin Feng did not place any bets, and Xiao Lian did not know if she should give him the heads up. "Ladies and gentlemen, an exciting fight is about to begin. Make some noise." The loudspeakers in the arena exploded as the MC rallied up the crowd, announcing the start of the competition with gusto. Qin Feng's eyes locked on the stag. Ruthless Tiger did not look too good. Multiple injuries pockmarked his body, with large bluish bruises covering most of his skin. His opponent, on the other hand, was filled with energy and spirit. He was evidently the more dominant one in this fight. This fight was a no-brainer. The match had only started when the contender called Arm Breaker launched a sudden attack on his opponent, taking the other guy by surprise. He did not stand a chance to retaliate. The crowd went wild, with cheers and chants echoing in the stadium. The chaotic atmosphere was reminiscent of an angry mob 10,000 strong. Arm breaker. Arm breaker. Arm breaker. Arm breaker. Come on. Crush him. Qin Feng noticed that the rewards for both players were increasing rapidly on his communicator. Then, the MC's voice reverberated over the loudspeaker. Patron number 721 has given Arm Breaker 100,000 yuan to see Arm Breaker break Ruthless Tiger's neck. Ha ha ha. Let's see what Arm Breaker is going to do. The moment Arm Breaker caught an ear of the MC's announcement, he could not help but grin victoriously, and in an effort to impress, he went back down into the fight. Crack. One of Ruthless Tiger's arm was snapped into two by Arm Breaker and was bent at an abnormal angle. The whites of shattered bone gleamed in the spotlights as it pierced out of his flesh. Ha! Ruthless Tiger screamed, his agony unimaginable. The audience erupted into an even louder roar, electrified that blood had finally been spilled. Arm Breaker, Arm Breaker. Arm Breaker smirked and continued to bludgeon his opponent brutally. Crack. 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 Subsequently, all four of Ruthless Tiger's limbs were broken. Patron number 721 has given Arm Breaker another 100,000. Ah, there's more, Patron number 1032, and Patron 1032. We have the banks flowing for him. Gosh, they seem to all really like Arm Breaker's exhilarating performance. Arm Breaker waved his arms in the air, looking cocky, pumping up the crowd's zealousness further. I concede. I concede. Ruthless Tiger howled. He had this desperate look in his eyes as if pleading for his life. Concede. What? No one has ever conceded in an underground fight, muttered Arm Breaker while he strode up to his opponent and mercilessly snapped his neck by twisting the head around. Ow! A loud hush followed by cheers erupted like wildfire. Loud shrieks and whistles of excitement from the audience, their necks and faces flushed with exhilaration. So, the exciting performance turned out to be the brutal killing of the opponent. Qin Feng mockingly told the girl. Even though he had been reborn, he found himself again unable to adapt to the vile insanity of the people. Maybe because they were all average lads, unable to escape the colony, and that their frustrations led them to vent their violence and fervor over here. Qin Feng smelled the darkness approaching. The crowd proved deafening, and Qin Feng had spoken so softly that Xiao Lian did not hear his comment. As for her, she quietly observed that Qin Feng did not seem excited, in fact, a little unhappy to be precise. Mr. Qin, if you don't like the noise, we can go to a private room. You can enjoy the fight in peace and quiet there. Qin Feng answered coolly, no need. That won't be necessary. You know, I honestly think that this competition is exciting. I'll challenge this Arm Breaker guy. Chapter 59. Getting into the ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Lian's eyes widened, gawking at Qin Feng in disbelief. Mr. Qin. This is no joke. Entering the ring is serious business. That's something only daredevils would do. There were all kinds of strange and unusual people who had visited this place, but one thing linked them together. They were all destitute and poverty-stricken. Qin Feng looked like he was born with a silver spoon, so why would he do such a thing? That's not for you to worry about. Just bring me in. Qin Feng took out another wad of cash and flung it at Xiao Lian. When the girl saw the money, she knew that this young master would never take no for an answer. With clenched jaws, Xiao Lian cursed under her breath. She pretended to be polite. Well, if you insist, please come with me then, young master. I must inform you that Arm Breaker may not accept your challenge. Qin Feng followed Xiao Lian to the registration desk. When the person at the desk saw the young man, he looked astonished. Qin Feng did not look like he needed the money at all. Excuse me, young master. Going into that ring is not something that should be taken lightly. Our rules here are that once you enter the competition, you will have to compete in 5 battles before you are allowed to decide whether or not you want to continue. One person can compete in a maximum of 35 battles. From the second day onward, all the opponents you'll be fighting against will be way stronger than you and much more experienced. Not that we've never had people your age come along, but it's just that most of them can't even last 3 rounds. The person hoped that his brief anecdote would discourage Qin Feng from joining. Qin Feng, however, merely nodded, obviously unperturbed. What about the prize? He had come to strengthen his martial arts internal force, and it would be an added bonus if the prize were big too. When the man at the registration saw that Qin Feng wasn't about to change his mind, he decided that he would not care less if Qin Feng was dead or alive. He then proceeded to look up Qin Feng's particulars. If Qin Feng hailed from an influential family, all they had to do was to tell his opponent to keep him alive. That was the way things ran over here. If you win the first battle, you'll get 10,000, then 50,000 for the second battle, 100,000 for the third, 500,000 for the fourth, and 1 million yuan for your fifth. The total prize money for winning all 5 battles was 1.66 million. Unsurprisingly, most people got nothing as the prize money was only given out at the end of the 5th round. Take Ruthless Tiger, for example. He won the first 4 battles, but instead of taking home 660,000, he lost his life in the ring. Also, you can take home 10% of the audience's donation. Qin Feng nodded. What about the prizes after the 6 consecutive wins? At the question, the man at the registration table nearly fell off his chair. This young man had no idea if he would even be able to survive today, and here he was, thinking about winning 6 battles in a row. For every round of battle won after that, the prize would increase by 1 million. That means 2 million for winning 6 rounds, 3 million for 7, and 4 million for 8. If you win 30.5 successive battles, the total reward would be more than 30 million. By then, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem for you to win 100 billion if you wanted to. The man spoke the last sentence in sarcasm, spitefully jostling Qin Feng with something impractical. Any typical youth would have become drunk on the idea of success, engrossed in wild fantasies they had fabricated up their heads. With all things considered, 100 million yuan was an astronomical figure. Not bad. Qin Feng nodded again. A prize like that was worth taking the risk. Qin Feng took out his communicator and displayed his personal information. Sign me up. Since he insisted on going down the path of self-destruction, the man decided that there was no point in trying to stop him. After he reviewed Qin Feng's details, the guy exhaled and had this look on his face, as if he finally understood. You're an orphan. You only received your awakening injection last month. Yup. When Xiao Lian heard Qin Feng's answer, she was stunned for a moment. This boy was 3 years younger than her. She inspected Qin Feng's clothes and communicator, and she suspected that he probably earned some money in the wilderness, then squandered all of it when he came back. Someone must have egged him on to join the underground fight. This was usually the case. The Eagle Clubhouse had to expand their business anyway, so they would often exaggerate the overnight fortune that people stood to make by participating in their underground fights. Numerous youngsters had been deceived into signing up, eventually ending up losing their lives. That was precisely what the guy at the registration thought. You seem to be pretty confident in yourself. Fine, I'll sign you up. What code name will you be using? Code names like Ruthless Tiger and Armbreaker. Qin Feng thought about the little fox sound asleep at home and answered, deranged, crazed, or Mad Fox. Mad Fox. The defender is a candidate called Mad Fox, and he's only 16 years old. Ha ha ha. You heard that right, this is a young man who has only awakened a month ago. Of course, his opponent isn't very strong either. We would never do something so barbaric. The audience exploded into fits of laughter. If the underground fight was not barbaric, then what was? His rival is Black Psycho. When the audience saw Black Psycho's details and noticed that he was a pretty decent fighter. Even though it was no professional assessment, the screen showed that he was the kind of man that could dish out a 1000 attack punch, which was to say that this Black Psycho had G2 tier strength. Black Psycho was one of Eagle Clubhouse's own thugs. He worked as a hired henchman on regular days, but whenever the chance to enter the ring presented itself, he would jump at it. They even got paid $10,000 for winning, and more if he put on a great show. After all, Black Psycho was, in actual fact, simply average in terms of strength. Even so, Black Psycho had a pretty stellar record. As a challenger, he had taken the lives of 11 people and only lost 3 battles in his career. This is a no-brainer. Black Psycho is going to win for sure. Black Psycho. Go. Let me see you torture your opponent. I'm betting on Black Psycho winning. Qin Feng's odds were 1.1.3, whereas Black Psycho's odds were 3.4. If the people wagered on Qin Feng, they would have to risk 100 to win a mere 103, and if they bet on Black Psycho, they would have to risk 300 to win 100. In short, the profit margin for the first round wasn't the most enticing. No matter who won the battle, only the gambling house would be making any substantial earnings. For that very reason, old-time gamblers would not choose to place any bets on this round. It was an unspoken fact that this first round was just for observation. Both candidates have words that mean crazy in their names. So, let's see which of these two is crazier. The competition starts now. Ding. 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 The bell rang, and the energy force field rose, effectively locking them in. Qin Feng and Black Psycho stood facing each other. Both of them were topless, wearing only a pair of shorts and combat shoes. Black Psycho was a massive guy, towering at a tall-ish 1.9 meters with coal-black skin and bulging muscles, brimming with vigor. Next to him, Qin Feng's skin was a healthy tan, and the tone of his muscles was well-defined. With a lean physique, he looked like a growing young boy, and at 178 centimeters, he was a good head shorter than his rival. Hey, kid, I will tear you apart. Black Psycho bared a mouthful of white teeth, looking more like sharp fangs. After that, I will bring your body back so that I can cook and eat your meat. Soft skin and tender flesh like yours should taste pretty good. Qin Feng's face darkened, taking on the look of a murderous killer. It increasingly looked like he did not need to be merciful this round. Black Psycho attacked first, his fist unrestrained. Qin Feng could kill him with one strike, but he did not want to reveal his actual strength. That, however, did not mean that he would go soft of him. Bash. Qin Feng took the chance to throw a punch at Black Psycho's face. Black Psycho's head shook a little as it bore its brunt. As blood splattered from his mouth, a few of his glimmering white teeth were flung 2 meters away. Chapter 60. Challenge Arm Breaker. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Aren't you going to eat me up? That's all you've got? Herg. Qin Feng threw another sock. Bish. Bash. Punch. Half of Black Psycho's face became swollen. The audience roared and cheered, delighted to see the unexpected turn of events. Wow. Patron number 182 has tipped 100,000 to Mad Fox. Let's see what he has to say. Haha. This must be a female patron. She said. To keep Mad Fox out of the ring, she is willing to look after this handsome young man. More and more people were cheering on Qin Feng's behalf. Maybe it was because of his swollen face, or because of the humiliation, that Black Psycho roared in anger, "Die, kid." He raised a leg attempting to kick Qin Feng, and at the same time, a knife tip appeared on his shoe. If Qin Feng did not dodge this kick, the blade would have surely pierced his chest, and he would meet his untimely end. The shoe Qin Feng was wearing were Eagle Clubhouse standard issue, but it did not have this mechanism. Black Psycho's shoes were exactly the same, so it meant that they were a modified pair. There was obviously foul play in the workings. But in underground fights, there was no such thing as playing dirty. There was only victory, only one survival at play. The loser was doomed to certain death. Qin Feng sniggered, forming a claw with his hands and grappled onto Black Psycho's calf. Crack! Qin Feng crossed his hands and broke his opponent's calf. Before Black Psycho could even make a sound, Qin Feng pushed upwards so forcefully that the already garishly bent calves now turned towards Black Psycho's forehead. Arf! His own pointed blade punctured his skull before Black Psycho's eyes flickered. Then, all the strength in his body left him, and he stopped struggling. Plop! Qin Feng gave his victim one last gentle shove, and Black Psycho collapsed like jelly onto the ground. Fresh, warm, blood dripped out, dyeing the rims of Black Psycho's lifeless eyes. For a brief minute, the whole arena went completely still, the audience coming to grips with the sudden events. Only when Black Psycho's face was plastered on the big screens did they react with an explosive thunder of applause and hurrahs. Had this event taken place in some other arena, the entire crowd would have been scared to death. But in this very location, the spectators were only more fired up. The adrenaline and appalling taste of death only had them shouting for more. Qin Feng's payoff was growing by the minute. Ding! 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 The bell rang, and the referee declared Qin Feng winner. The voice of the MC echoed over the loudspeaker. Let us congratulate Mad Fox. His valiant might has caused us to see him in a whole new light. But Black Psycho was too careless in that battle, for speed is clearly Mad Fox's area of expertise. This was how he was able to dodge Black Psycho's advances and claim the victory. Mad Fox has denied Black Psycho the chance to demonstrate his caliber. The MC's words stirred and agitated the spectators' brain cells. Truth be told, while Qin Feng was fast, he was not weak either. How else did he manage to mutilate Black Psycho's legs? However, the MC's job was to highlight weaknesses and eschew strength, attempting to sway the audience from making the right judgments, a crafty method for Eagle Clubhouse to rake in huge profits at the expense of the patrons. A large number of people agreed with the MC. Qin Feng's slimmer physique naturally made him much more agile. His victory in this battle was unsurprising. I should have placed my bet on Mad Fox. Let's give it another go. We'll see if the opponent is stronger this time. It's probably nothing too impressive. It's only the second round. Sure enough, the competitors for the second battle were almost similar to Black Psycho, neither weak nor strong. Qin Feng had only sparred with his opponent briefly before defeating him. He did not kill this rival, but he absorbed his internal force instead, basically the equivalent of crippling this person. In the third and fourth battles, Qin Feng won them both, each fight lasting no more than 10 minutes. His score was moving upwards, and the wagers were increasing. Qin Feng, on the contrary, looked as relaxed as ever. The spectators' confidence in him automatically grew, as if believing that Qin Feng would surely win all 5 battles today. Backstage, in a lavishly decorated office, sat a young man in his late 20s enjoying fine wine with a scantily dressed woman in his arms. She diligently plucked grapes and fed him with her mouth. This was the person in charge and the general manager of Eagle Clubhouse, Jiang Xiaoyang. He was F7. Tier, one of the top elects of Beijing. This kid's not bad. We can keep him for one day. Tell the people to arrange for a more skillful candidate. Make this a handicapped match. Jiang Xiaoyang ordered. The MC and the referee, both wearing an earpiece, each heard their boss' instruction. It was a brilliant move indeed. If there were 5 consecutive victories, they would lose the audience's interest. The people loved this comeback feeling. But then again, the purpose of setting up Qin Feng against a powerful competitor was to ensure Eagle Clubhouse did not make any losses. Spectators would naturally wager on the more intimidating candidate, the challenger. Only the few people who liked upsets would choose to place their bets on the defender. Ruthless Tiger was an obvious example. As the setup was happening, Qin Feng raised his hand, indicating to the referee that he wanted to speak. "What is it?" the referee asked. "I'd like to challenge a certain someone, that guy arm breaker from the fight earlier tonight," Qin Feng said. The referee was taken aback for a second, then nodded after. "I know. But that green light from me would have to depend on the higher authorities." "All right." Qin Feng then returned to his seat to rest up. There was actually no need for that since all of the 4 candidates he defeated were only G4 tier. Qin Feng knew that arm breaker was around G6 tier. His inner force was pretty good, and if all went well, he should be able to absorb some of it. Backstage, Jiang Xiaoyang's smile grew cold. He would get uncomfortable with situations that were out of his control, even more so when his subordinates made unauthorized decisions. Qin Feng's request had troubled Jiang Xiaoyang, somehow striking the superior's nerve. "Since he's so foolhardy, we'll grant him what he desires. Remember to raise his stakes, and prompt the people to wager on him." The people listening silently on the other end nodded obediently. 5 minutes later, the MC spoke again. "Wow. I've just received some news. Mad Fox has requested to challenge Armbreaker. This is entirely unexpected. I wonder who gave Mad Fox the confidence to challenge one of the greatest nemesis known to man. Didn't he watch how the match ended between Ruthless Tiger and Armbreaker just now?" The audience hooted and laughed at the artsy commentator. A few even mocked and cursed at Qin Feng, encouraged by the pundits' jeers. "You want to challenge Armbreaker? Are you insane? Hell, there's no doubt about it. Armbreaker will win for sure. Retard. What a waste of time. Let's stay and watch Armbreaker bunch him into a ball." The crowd was rowdy, with none of them supporting Qin Feng. All right, is Mad Fox going to avenge Ruthless Tiger? Could this be a claim of vengeance? Let's take a look at the odds for these 2 candidates. The figures flashed onto the screen. Qin Feng's odds were sky-high, 1.8, while Armbreaker's was 5.6. It increasingly looked like an axiomatic fight was about to take place. However, the MC was beating the drum for Qin Feng, alluding to the innuendo that there may be another surprise victory for this round. Thanks to the practiced tongue of the company man, many eventually fell for it. When those who bet on Armbreaker saw that the winnings were meager, the number of bets too declined sharply. L.rg.